It's such a nice night, Simba. I wish that we could do something outside. Hey, Simba, it's a really clear night tonight. Would you want to go stargazing?
Sure, Lance, I'd love to go stargazing tonight.
That's great, Simba. Let's see if Kiki wants to come stargazing too. Let's go. Hey, Kiki, do you want to go stargazing with Simba and I?
Stargazing? Sure, that sounds fun.
Alright, great, Kiki. Come on, let's go.
Hey, Lance, what about Billy?
Great idea, Simba. I'm sure Billy wants to come too. Come on, guys. Go sit down. Alright. Sit. Wait, sit down. Alright, now we're gonna lay down. Wow. This is a great night for stargazing.
The stars look pretty, but I really wish I knew what I was looking at.
Simba, that's a good point, buddy. You know, I guess stargazing is not that great if you don't know what you're looking for.
Hey Lance, I know you know a lot about stargazing. You should teach us some things to look for.
Kiki, that's a really good idea. Let's start talking about the moon. So first, when there's a full moon, it becomes a waning gibbous. If the moon is waning, that means the moon is getting smaller. And gibbous means that the moon is 3/4 of the way full. Then it becomes a half moon, and next a waning crescent. Again, waning because the moon is getting smaller, and crescent because the moon is just 1/4 of the way full. A waning crescent is the one that looks like a open parentheses. Next is the new moon, which looks completely dark. But then the moon starts growing and it becomes a waxing crescent. A crescent, again, because it's only 1/4 of the way full, and this time it's waxing because the moon is getting bigger. After the waxing crescent, we have a half moon again, and then a waxing gibbous. Gibbous because now the moon is 3/4 of the way full, but it's still getting bigger before the full moon, so that's why it's considered a waxing gibbous.
Those moon phases are really cool, but could you tell us about some constellations?
Kiki, I'd love to tell you a bit about constellations. This is the Big Dipper. It looks like a cooking pot with a really long handle way up in the sky. And it can be used to find a lot of different constellations, so it's really important to be able to find this one. If you can't find it, go ahead and use an app like Skyview or Google it. Yes. Once you find the Big Dipper, you can also use it to find the Small Dipper, which is up here. If you make a straight line from these two stars on the Big Dipper, they point straight up to the end of the Small Dipper. And this star is called Polaris, or the North Star.
That's great, Lance. Are there any other stars like Polaris that you can point out to us?
Sure, Simba. There's another really bright star in the sky called Arcturus, and it's often known as the brightest star in the sky. To find it, you can continue the arc of the Big Dipper, and if you follow the curve, you'll find Arcturus. And this is called the arc to Arcturus, to help you remember how to find it.
Wow, Lance, I can see Arcturus now, but sometimes it's hard to find stars and constellations on my own. Is there any way I could find them easier?
And Simba, I understand that constellations can be really hard to find sometimes, but if you use your resources, I know you can find them. There's a really cool app called Skyview, and there's a free version, which lets you point at the sky and it'll help you find the constellations.
Skyview sounds really helpful, Lance. Thanks for showing us some things to look for while stargazing.
No problem, Kiki. I'm glad you could come out here and stargaze with Simba, Billy, and I. Wow, the stars are great tonight. Thanks for coming out here, guys. Hey, look, there's the Big Dipper. And if you follow the arc, there's Arcturus. And if you follow the Big Dipper straight ahead, there's the Small Dipper. Even though Simba and Kiki left us, I knew I could count on you, Billy, to stick by my side and finish out a beautiful night stargazing. What's up, guys? I just wanted to give a little drawing map to show you the constellations and stars I pointed out tonight. That way, if you're finding them on your own, you have this to kind of guide you on your way. So feel free to take a screenshot of this if that helps. So on the top is the Big Dipper, and that dashed line going straight off from that goes to that star, which is the North Star. And remember, that North Star is the end of the Little Dipper. Now, if we go back to the Big Dipper and we follow the arc of the handle part of it, that's called the arc to Arcturus, and that's the green arrow, and it takes us to the star called Arcturus, which is one of the brightest stars in the sky. Now, I didn't mention this in the video, but there's another really bright star in the sky called Vega, and that white line coming off of Arcturus is actually leading to Vega. So if you're looking for a challenge, go ahead and try and find that one. As a final reminder, the app I was talking about is called Skyview, and it's really helpful to try and find stars like the Arcturus and Vega, and constellations like the Big Dipper and Little Dipper. Thanks a lot for joining in on this mystery box video, and please feel free to reach out to me with any questions or tips for stargazing. Have fun, and hope to see you soon. Hey Simba, it's a really clear night tonight. Would you want to go stargazing?
I fell.
Okay, you can sit down if you want.
Simba, this is just not a good spot.
The Big Dipper looks like this. I don't really know what a dipper is. I don't know if it's a cooking pot or what, but it's a really big looking this in the sky. You end up seeing Arcturus. And I see it now.
Okay, bye Simba.